Hey everyone, and welcome back to Joey's Retro Newscast. And I do this weekly. We go over the top news in retro handhelds and retro gaming, emulation, all of that fun stuff. We do it every Friday. This week, we're going to talk about the Retroid stuff and Anbernic and all of the things that have been happening this week. But first, this is really hard for me to do, so let's circle this back. I have to apologize to all of you. I've done something really, really bad, and so I need to get it off my chest. This week, I can't believe it. This week, I beat Elite Beat Agents on the AYN Thor. I know. Everybody said it was impossible. They all said you cannot play a rhythm game on the AYN Thor, but I did it, and so I need to apologize to all of you. Because what I should have done is a 4,000-word essay on Reddit about why you cannot play a rhythm game on the AYN Thor with all of the numbers and stuff. But instead, I just went and played the game. It was my first time playing the Elite Beat Agents, and I've never played it before besides the Thor, and it was actually pretty fun. So I do want to apologize to all of you for my behavior. I should not have done that. I should not have just played games and should have just written about them instead. All of that being said, one other thing, tomorrow is actually my birthday. So yay me, 36 years old. And yeah, I'm going to be enjoying my weekend playing some video games. What are you guys doing this weekend? But first, let's talk about news. ARM SX2 is finally out on Android. I did end up checking this out for a little bit. I got like 3 crashes in 15 minutes, and it was, yeah. But I did see some good stuff. You can set where to store your data, so I set it to the SD card, which is absolutely awesome because you couldn't do that on PS2 with Nether SX2 before. But I did see some weird stuff that made me a little confused. They have the screen as 16:9 by default, which the PS2 is 4:3. There were some games that ran at 16:9, and you can change that and all that, but to set the default as 16:9 is a little weird. I didn't see where you could set up widescreen patches, but I might have missed that. But yeah, it was a weird thing. There was also no folder memory card support as of right now, which means for me, who has all of my memory cards as folders, which is how you should be doing it because you don't run out of space, I couldn't really transfer over all of my stuff. So those few things are why I'm staying a little bit back right now. I'll wait for a lot more updates. But this is really cool. It was really awesome. Big thing is throwing your stuff on the SD card. I didn't get a chance to really play much game, so I don't know how it's actually working. So let me know in the comments. Have you tested it out? Have you compared it to Nether SX2? How's it going? muOS Golden Goose is now out, and with it, the RetroArch folder that you could access through File Explorer is now hidden amongst other changes. It seems like it has been hidden away on another partition, and it is no longer easily accessible. This change makes me personally sad. One of the main reasons I like muOS the most is because of how open it was. It was always just RetroArch, and then here is a front end, and that is it. But every change seems like they're getting more locked down with RetroArch, and that's disappointing to me as somebody who just wants RetroArch. I want to be able to access it, change it, do whatever I want, and it just seems like it's getting more and more difficult, which is unfortunate. There's a lot more other updates and changes in this release, but that was the one that stuck out the most to me, so check it out if you want and update if you want. Special thanks to Pope for this news, but Fedora 43 is now out for Bazite, meaning lots of new updates. Both Xbox allies are now supported, but not perfectly, so just keep that in mind. Legion Go 2 and some other devices got some improvements. Steering wheel driver support has been added, which is pretty cool, and there's a whole bunch more. It is pretty cool to see, so if you've been using Bazite, make sure you grab the update. Question of the week. Because I like to stir the pot, D-pad top or stick top? That's the question. To quote a Discord user, Adramir, this is the ultimate DS device for people that don't care about accuracy, upscaling, retro achievements, or updates to the emulator. And of course, we are talking about the new Anbernic RGDS. We have specs, we have pricing, we have everything. And some people are going to be happy, but a lot of others are just not going to be happy. RK3568 processor here. And yeah, oh boy, this is a drastic only device based off of this processor already. This also explains why they only showed off the lightest of lightest 3DS games in those videos, is because it can't run anymore. RK3568, not much different than an RK3566. And so you're not going to get a lot here. You're going to get Drastic, the emulator for DS on Android, which is abandoned, no longer being updated. And upscaling is going to be a hit and miss thing. I would be surprised if you could do 2x on every game. You're likely not going to be able to do that either. Also, we have 3 gigabytes of RAM, 32 gigabytes of internal storage. There is Wi-Fi, there is Bluetooth. Android 14, we have dual 4-inch 640 by 480 screens, which also is extremely unfortunate. A lot of people are expecting integer scaled screens here. No, that's not what you're getting at all. 4,000 milliamp hour battery, which probably is fine. I'm guessing. I don't know, but it's probably fine. There is a microphone, which is good for Nintendo DS. There is no video out, which you don't really need for a Nintendo DS sort of device. And there is 3 colors. There's black, red, white, and light blue. Oh, and it takes about 3.5 hours to actually charge the device to full. And it probably lasts about 3.5 to 4 hours if I had to guess based off of the battery size. So you're going to play it for 3.5 to 4 hours. You're going to charge it for 3.5 to 4 hours. You're going to play it for 3. Continue that cycle. You know what I mean? So yeah, this is not great spec-wise, obviously. I think everybody knows this. This is just not great. It is what I expected. It is what I've been trying to tell you for the last few weeks, that you guys have your expectations a little way too high because somebody saw Shovel Knight as a 3DS game playing well on the device. Man, just because a device can run Stardew Valley doesn't mean it can play PS4 games. That's exactly what happened there. Shovel Knight, lightest of lightest 3DS games. Rune Factory, lightest of lightest 3DS games. And that was crackling, which means it wasn't running at full speed either in that video. So all of that combines into the fact that, yeah, this is what you're getting here. I don't know what else everybody expected, but this is what you're getting. So temper those expectations. Although when I said temper those expectations, I didn't mean we were going to go this low on expectations. One thing you should be aware of, because I saw a lot of people saying this, how does this run 3DS or light 3DS and not DS? Melon DS is hard to run. Melon DS is not meant for lower end hardware. It's the reason why any Linux device, H700, Anbernic, low end device, has Drastic on there. When you try and run Melon DS, it does not run properly. You can go look at my Magni Air X review for this. I went over it. 3DS native resolution runs pretty much full speed for every game, for the most part. But when you try and run Melon DS, it is like right on the cusp. It is not great. So that is a scenario where 3DS gets a pass for me, but DS is like, maybe. Melon DS is hard to run. 3DS, not as hard to run, especially if you're looking at just the lightest 3DS games. Anyways, with this processor, you are going to be playing Drastic DS. You're not going to touch 3DS on this thing. Now, all of that being said, does this change anything for most people who are going to buy this? Absolutely not. They want a device that can just play DS. They don't care where it's from. Drastic, Melon DS, whatever it is. Does this device turn on and play DS games? The answer is yes. So this thing will still sell like hotcakes. The community, like us, me, all of that, are like, no, I'm not going to buy this thing. Am I going to buy this for a review? That's a good question. I don't know if I'm going to buy this for a review. But other than that, besides that, is this the quintessential DS device? Depends on what your definition of that is. It does play DS, it does play Drastic DS, so it'll do all of that, but no retro achievements here, no upscaling or barely any upscaling. You can't do much more than DS. All of that stuff in one makes it so that it is a very compromised experience. For the general public that is not in the bubble that watches these videos and reviews, they are going to eat this up and buy it like no tomorrow. For people in this community, I think they're going to be a little bit more away from this. I think most of us know the second or third iteration of this device is going to be the one you want. So wait till, if this is coming out in December, which it seems like it is, wait till February, March. You'll get the DS that you want. But everybody else is kind of going to jump in because, yeah, it's pretty much $100. It's a little bit more expensive on AliExpress because they're including the shipping. It's probably going to be $95 or $89 on Anbernic's website when it actually releases, plus shipping and all of that. So yes, all of that makes sense. A lot of people are still going to like this, but there's a lot of people that are just big no, and I'm included in that group. There's a few things I want to say here. Number one, the Thor Lite is $249. So if you're going to spend $120 with shipping and all of that on this device, maybe just go a little bit higher. I know it's double, but you know what I mean. Second point is, if you're going to play native resolution DS games on a cheap Chinese knockoff that doesn't improve anything, maybe just buy a DS Lite with an R4 card. I'm saying that here. Like, the Thor has replaced DS and 3DS for me and all of that. And original hardware rarely ever, to me, is something I care about. As much as I loved it back then, nowadays, there's better ways to play these games. This is a worse version of a DS Lite based off of what we know. So I would get a DS Lite before I buy this if I wasn't doing it for review, for example. These are my thoughts. TrimUI has a new Smart Pro S coming. So far, all we know is it has L3 and R3 button support, and it has more than 3 colors. The best guess right now is it has the all-winner A527 processor, but that is just a guess. It'll be an incremental upgrade, nothing crazy. So we should find out more soon, and all we have right now is this picture. The ONEXFLY Apex has been announced this week. It has the Ryzen AI Max Plus 395 processor, 8-inch 16:10 aspect ratio, 120Hz VRR screen, up to 128 gigabytes of RAM, and an external battery, just like the GPD Win 5. There goes my interest, so let's move on to another story. Oh man, did you guys see the new Retroid Pocket 6? I'm so excited. I ordered one. I cannot wait for that to come in. Oh boy, I cannot wait. Oh, hold on. I got a call coming in. Give me 1 second. Hi, yeah, this is Joey. Oh, hey, Retroid CEO. How's it going? Uh-huh. Okay, you did what? Okay. Discord and Twitter. Okay. Yeah. And the poll was for, okay. So yeah, no, I understand. Sure. Not enough sales. I get it. Yeah. Cool. I'll let everybody know. I'm on with them right now. I'll let them all know. Cool. Okay. Bye. Yeah. So, what did you guys do? Look, I don't even want to talk about this week. This is such a stupid thing. This is so stupid. The entire week I was looking at comments, posts all about this and just shaking my head like, what are we doing here? And look, just to start off here, I've said this before, I've said this way before, I have no interest in either device. Zero interest in either device because neither of them do anything for me. And just so you know, there were 2 devices. There's a G2 and an RP6, a Retroid Pocket 6. We'll talk about them. But I have no interest. I did not pre-order them. I'm not going to pre-order them. I don't care about them. If they're not sending them for review, I won't be showing them on the channel. This has nothing to do with Retroid. It's just I don't care about them. The same way that I have no interest in a lot of other devices that show up from Anbernic, for example, and I don't review them because I don't care about them. Or Odin 3, I have no interest in, but I bought because it is a Snapdragon 8 Elite. It is something different at least. So I can at least look at, hey, this is a new processor. I have it in my phone, so I know generally what it does, but it is something new. It is something different, so I might as well check it out. So when I say all of that, when I look at all of the comments that I got this week, when I did my video about the G2 that came out and the Retroid Pocket 6, the overwhelming majority of you said that you had zero interest in this device because it's not doing anything new. There's nothing exciting. There's nothing like that. So I want you to keep that all in mind because I did a poll as well on the channel, and the overwhelming majority of you said that even with the new design of the Retroid Pocket 6, you are not going to be ordering one. Because yeah, it had nothing to do with the design. They might get a few orders from people who want whatever combination of stick top or whatever, but the design was never the problem here. So, to quickly go all the way back, Retroid announced 2 devices, the Retroid Pocket G2 for $199 and the Retroid Pocket 6 with the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 for $209. We are not going to talk about the G2 because I don't want to be rude, but saving $10 to get the G2 is an absolutely stupid decision for anybody to make. And this was before the design that everybody hates, apparently. I like the design. This was before the design. With the new design, there is truly no actual reason for you to buy a G2. You have a worse processor, worse screen, worse battery, worse Wi-Fi, worse everything. For $10, I don't care what financial situation you are in, if you are going to buy the G2, it makes zero sense not to buy the 6 instead. If $10 is that make or break for you, then neither device is for you. That's how it is. So no, there is zero reason for you to buy a G2. I don't know why they did this. This goes back to every single light version. Whenever a company does this, the light version never sells, ever. Thor Lite versus Thor Base, Thor Lite didn't sell. Retroid Pocket 4 Base versus Retroid Pocket 4 Pro, the base didn't sell. The D11 Flip or D1100 Flip 2 versus the Snapdragon 865 Flip 2, it did not sell. They never sell. Stop doing them. And in all of those scenarios, they had much larger discounts than $10. $10 gets you so damn much that it is absurd that they even tried it. And it also affected them in a negative way. And so they announced both devices at the same time, the G2 shipping immediately, the 6 shipping in January. I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that are like, I'm not going to wait 2.5 months. I might as well get the G2 now and then the 6 later. In which case I say you have way too much money and way too much time. You should just play some games. But they did that. They announced both of them and all of that. And so you found out really quickly that nobody was buying either device. No one. This isn't anecdotal, although I have anecdotal evidence of it. Their own Discord was saying that, yeah, we're doing this because nobody is buying these. So they assumed nobody was buying them because of the design of the device. Not because it was a boring, unexciting release, but because of the design of the device. Everybody got mad. Oh, it looks terrible, all of that. And because nobody was buying them, within 24 hours, they were like, okay, we're taking it down. We're going to do a poll. You let us know. Do you want the old design, new design? Do you want stick top? Do you want D-pad top? And so they did this poll on Twitter and Discord because that is how you make a device nowadays. You get the input from Twitter for whatever reason, because you have no actual, what is the word that I am looking for? You have no actual backbone. You have no actual, I'm missing the word. No actual, I need this now because it makes my whole point. But you have no actual faith in your device. I will go with faith. You have no actual faith in your device to do well. So you just cancel the whole thing. So what you are left with now is you have people that like that original design. I'm part of that group, but I was never buying it, so it didn't matter. That now placed orders for that and it is never coming. Because what ended up happening was people voted and they want a new design that looks like a Retroid Pocket 5 or an Odin 3 but smaller. And you get a choice now of D-pad top or stick top. That is the only good thing. D-pad top or stick top. You get a choice. So if you want one, you get one. But all of this is because the device was not selling at all. Nobody wanted it. But is it going to sell now? Again, we go back to my poll. Nobody cares that it is a new design. I am sure there's going to be more people ordering, and I'm sure I'm going to get comments saying that now because of this, I'm going to order, it's stick top, all of that. But again, you have to think about this rationally, and Retroid did not think about this rationally. They did many mistakes here. The first one was assuming that everybody cared about this device. You have an AYN Thor that just released that every single person is buying. You have a Conquer Pocket Fit. You have an Odin 3 that is coming. You have people that have had an Odin 2 Portal for a year now. You have people that have had other devices with the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 or better for years now. When it comes to the $200 plus market, we are saturated. Anybody who has wanted one of those devices has one. And especially recently, when we've had 3 different devices with pre-orders and shipping, where does this fit in? Oh, it's smaller than the Odin 3. Sure. The Odin or the Thor is smaller. Oh, it's got an 8 Gen 2. Yeah, well, the Thor does have that too. I have an Odin 2 Portal, so I want this. Why would you make that switch? There is a lot of reasons against this. The design was like the littlest thing. And you know how I know that this was a result of it not selling? Because the Flip 2, everybody hated the top design on the Flip 2. It was the number one thing every single person talked about as soon as we saw it. They made 0 changes to that Flip 2. It was never changed to adjust that design. Why? Because the Flip 2 sold. Flip 2 sold well. This instant panic mode. We have to change everything. We have to redo it all. We have to make Twitter happy for people that are not buying the device anyways. That is my major thing here. They did polls towards people that were never going to buy the device anyways. So people are voting now. And of course, they're going to vote for stick top. Of course, they're going to do that. And of course, they're going to say new design. How many of those people are going to buy the device now? I would be super surprised if we see an influx of a massive number of orders because of this. And then you have the other people, the brain dead people that are like, this is a marketing ploy. They did all of this. They knew all of this. They knew that nobody would like it. And so this is all marketing. There is no Machiavellian plot here. There is no evil genius at the top of Retroid that is doing this. You know how I know that? Because every other release they've ever done has had these sorts of issues and problems. Every launch, every single launch is a rushed launch with weirdness happening, never actually finished, all of that. And so no, there is no evil genius at the top. The Retroid CEO is not the smartest person in the world playing all of us for fiddles. That is not what's happening. And oh my God, if you think that, you are absolutely insane. But anyways, to bring this all back, the problem that they had here, the main issue that they had here is they released 2 devices with the same form factor and competed them against each other. So of course, people are going to see the G2 that looks like a Retroid Pocket 5 that a lot of people are familiar with. They're going to see a 6 with a new design that I think looks really good. And they're going to be like, well, I want the 5 design because you gave me a choice. You gave me that choice. You literally came and said, hey, for $10 less, you can get the Retroid Pocket 5 design. For $10 more, you get a better handheld, but it's a different look. If they did not do that, if they released one single device with the G2 or the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 or whatever, you wouldn't have heard a single thing. There would have been a small number of people that said, I don't like the design, I'm not going to buy it. And then you would have had a groundswell of people that are like, I'm going to grab this. I want this. I'm going to get it. The same way that the Flip 2 went through. So they caused their own demise here. They caused this problem. If they would have just if they had to contractually make a G2 for whatever reason, they could have used the Mini. They could have used the Flip 2. They could have used the Classic. They could have used any other design to do it. All they had to do was make another device that was not a horizontal form factor that competed with their directly flagship device. That is all they had to do. But instead, they were like, nah, we're going to release 2 devices within $10 of each other. That makes absolutely 0 sense because we have no idea what we're doing. And again, the design isn't the issue. Why do you need this? If you're a Retroid Pocket 5 owner right now, what does this do that you can't do right now? You can already do PS2. You can already do GameCube. You can already do 3DS. You can already do all of that. What you'll get out of this is what? Switch, Win Later. That's it. Are you going to say PS3 and Wii U? They're alpha emulators. They're not there yet. But you're going to get Switch and Win Later. That's what you're going to get out of this. Is that enough for you? And a lot of people, again, going back to the comments that I got from you guys that are watching this, the answer is no. So no, the design, again, was not the problem, although they made it now the problem by focusing on it. Retroid basically ran over a guy with their car, took the guy to the hospital, and then turned around and everybody praised them for being a hero. They caused their own demise here, and people are turning around and saying, look how they listen. Look how we are felt and seen here. Look how great of a company this is. They started the fire and then put out the fire. What are you talking about? I get it. Sure. I can see why people would say that. It is cool that we are getting a choice between stick top and D-pad top now. It is cool that they listened to the lack of pre-orders, to the lack of people wanting to buy their device and quickly turned around and made a new device for everybody to enjoy. But let's not pretend that this is some altruistic Retroid loves the community sort of scenario. They would not have sold anything if they did not do it, so they had to do it scenario. This wasn't because of little Timmy that is waiting for the Make-A-Wish Retroid to come to their door. This is Retroid having to do it to stay in business for this next quarter, or else they would not sell anything. I don't know why I need to explain this, but that is what happened. And the worst part about all of this is we are 2.5 months out until when they are saying that it would ship, and they are still able to make these sorts of changes. This is where I know that AYN and Retroid are two different companies, because if you go and look at AYN's roadmap that they shared with us on the Odin 3, we have now seen, a month before release, actual AYN Odin 3 devices with everything. Like, they are finished, ready to go. And so we have a month till release where they are probably ramping up, doing all the software, doing all that sort of thing. Retroid, on the other hand, when it comes to launches, we barely ever see a finished device before the launch. If anything, it's like a day or two before, because they just finished creating their first batches. And you don't have to go farther into the past to remember this. The Retroid Pocket Mini, the whole gray fiasco, because they had never made a Retroid Pocket Mini in that color before. But here you go, other companies like Anbernic, AYN, that release and show videos of their devices ahead of time so that you know that they are on track and making the device properly. Instead, you have Retroid that is 2.5 months out to their device release, and they can make a switch like this without blinking an eye. Tells me that this device was going to be rushed like every other Retroid release has been. They just continually rush out devices, and everybody praises them for it. Things are broken at launch, but everybody praises them for it. We continually talk about how Retroid continually rushes releases and not to pre-order Retroid devices, but everybody praises them for it. As somebody on this end, again, I am not connected to this at all. I did not pre-order the devices. I do not care about them. I am doing this from afar. This was a wild week to watch, an absolutely wild week to watch from a community perspective. I feel bad that for anybody that liked the original Retroid Pocket 6 design, because you got outvoted by the loud vocal minority of people that were not going to buy this device anyways, and now caused changes to a device that had no issues with it in the beginning. The main issues with that device still has not been solved. And I would be super surprised if this takes off, because again, it has not been solved. And with that, that is the end of all the news. So let's move on to the other segments of today. We voted on and selected our game and ROM hack of the month for November. And our game of the month is The Legend of Zelda Phantom Hourglass, for Nintendo DS. And our ROM hack of the month is newer Super Mario Bros. DS for Nintendo DS. We are doing a dual screen month. For those of you that have a dual screen device, you can come join, because we wanted to use our Thors and Pocket DSs and all of that fun stuff. So if you want to play with your new dual screen device, come join the Discord. Even if you don't, Phantom Hourglass has a D-pad patch, so you could use any device. Just come play some games. That's all we're doing. Now, on my own personal journey, I have beaten Elite Beat Agents on the Thor. We talked about that earlier. And I've also beaten Pokemon Black 2. I did half of that on my Portal and half of that on the Thor. So that was fun to finish up on the Thor. Not my favorite Pokemon game. I do not like the DS Pokemon games at all. But I beat it. It's gone. We are now at 3 games beaten on the Thor. Hopefully I can make it 4 by the end of this week, because I'm almost done Digimon. And we'll get there. But speaking of Digimon, I've given up on Pokemon ZA. I can't do it anymore. I got to rank C or D, and I cannot play Pokemon ZA anymore. I just can't. It's bad. I'm going to leave it at that. And it's even worse, because I was playing Digimon, then Pokemon came out. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to go play that. But then I go back to Digimon, and I'm like, if you blindfolded me, I guess not blindfolded. If I didn't know anything in the world and you asked me which of these 2 franchises were the number 1 franchise in the world, I would have said Digimon. Based off of how much better that game is, I would have said Digimon. And this isn't a whole like clickbait, oh, Digimon is better than Pokemon. It is better than Pokemon. It is so much better in every single way than the Pokemon game is. And I can't believe the state of Pokemon nowadays, that this is where we're at. But anyways, I am back to Digimon Time Stranger. I'm in the final chapter, so I'm almost done. All right, Newscast Q&A time. As always, send in your questions to newscast@joeysretrohandhelds.com, the email address, or come join the Discord. There's a channel there. You can send it in through there. This question comes in from Zilly. When will Steam Deck 2 come out? When Steam Deck content creators stop calling the Steam Deck 1 a perfect device in October of 2025. This next question comes in from Draven. In your opinion, what makes a game great and what makes it timeless? And maybe what would be an example of each for each console era or console, depending what kind of time or effort you want to put into this one. What makes a game timeless or great. I don't know if there's a real answer for that. Like, a lot of it is nostalgia for a lot of people, but there are great games that have stayed true even after nostalgia or red tinted glasses or rose tinted glasses or all of that sort of thing. Like, a lot of people don't like the Nintendo 64, but Ocarina of Time is what is my favorite Nintendo 64 game. It's also my favorite Zelda game. Does it hold up? I don't know, right? Because I've played that game since it came out. So I have a different perspective than somebody who's just jumping in. I've played a lot of games lately where they are on top 10s list, top 100 list, whatever. And I left it being like, this isn't a great game. This isn't fun. This isn't enjoyable. All of that sort of thing. And then I've had other games where it's like lower on the list. And I'm like, this is awesome. Why isn't this rated higher? All of that sort of thing. So the long story or long answer short here is I don't know. I don't know if there's a straight answer here as to what makes games timeless or great and all of that. But just play some games. Sorry. I have no other answer here. Just play some games. Last question of the day comes in from Duxa5. Hey, Joey, your topic last week about journalism being dead got me thinking, is there anybody you would trust to do a good job reporting or something? Could be a blog, a reviewer, a YouTube channel, anything really. Second, semi-related question, if you have the time, what are your top 5 YouTube channels at the moment, gaming or otherwise? This is a hard question. I'm not a YouTube person. I know. I have a YouTube channel. I know. I don't watch YouTube videos. I really don't. I'll watch the odd Bob Wolf video because I love him. He's awesome. I think he is great because he just says whatever. He has his own thoughts. He's not being paid. He's not nothing. Like it's just Bob. You get his unfiltered opinion. I like that. But I don't watch a lot of YouTube. I really don't. And especially in this hobby, like I just don't. So I don't have an answer for you there. As far as trustworthy benchmarking, all of that, probably like a Gamer's Nexus, I guess. I don't know if you meant our hobby, but they would be one of the ones that I usually go to when it comes to a new release for a GPU and all of that sort of thing. But I don't have the right answer for you, unfortunately. I'm not in that community. It's so weird to say that because I am the community. I'm part of the community, but like I don't follow these people. I don't check their videos out. I don't know anything about it. So I'm not the person to ask for that, unfortunately. That is everything this week. So appreciate you all for watching. That's all for me, Idiotville, Oregon.